We're just gonna go with it. I'll post it on YouTube for him. So here we have Archonz, aka Tunigiri Archonz.
Alright.
3600. He says
That's Hollywood. That's some
getting shattered, comma, a lot.
I accidentally.
Okay.
And two mates.
Want me to? I'm gonna go here. No.
Man, I'm not good at flicking.
So let's see what happens.
You have to be up there. They're gonna go around us. Watch out.
Oh, I couldn't hear more damage to the thing.
Oh.
That was a good cover from
I'm on it.
We have Widow, we have Anna.
What's it?
At this point, yeah, you probably want to change because not only does the Pharah know where you're at, but the entire team does.
Ooh.
Okay, I like this change. Oh,
I
okay.
got damage boost, rocketed.
So personally,
Okay, I don't think that.
Yeah, I did that with the Pharah.
if you get seen, I'm almost
Why do we go?
like I would have to play Bastion a
I guess I
lot,
would've stayed in high ground inside the house, but it would have been more difficult for Pharah to deal with me.
but you need to move as soon as people really know where you're at.
Rotation.
Unless you have a bunch of shields to hide behind and reinforce this position.
Maybe I'll go tank like a diva.
Yeah, no, we don't have.
You need to move because all Bastion is positioning. I get that his aim's important, but it's mostly positioning.
This is one of the awesome things that Bastion can do.
Need to protect the back. Okay.
Feels bad.
Bastion, please. They're rolling us.
No stop.
Feels bad.
Oh, I don't know, guys. Or maybe can someone play Brigitte, Anna, or Mercy so I go heal because I can play Brigitte.
Okay. I can go.
So that time he was just too far pushed up. He was worried about that crossfire for whatever reason.
I don't know.
Throw that away.
Like right now you need to move. You need to get out of there.
Oh, dude. Help. I'm so fucking dead, dude. They're rolling us every single team fight this whole game.
Yeah. Okay.
Cause they flank, cause they have 100 options to do something.
Okay.
We
Go.
only have one.
And Bastion first.
It's not much you could have done there.
To choose between the ground and the Pharah. I guess the Pharah takes too much work to do, because I just tried to deal with her. She just kept getting out-healed. She out-healed my damage.
Yeah.
So I guess I should ignore Pharah.
So
she gets really close. In this situation, I can force her to be up close.
he's talking, which is throwing me off. Stop talking.
That was so close. There we go.
So with the new hit scan changes, you know who's not affected by it?
I
Bastion.
don't want to get shadowed already.
Uh,
That was a bad sentry.
meaning the Pharah fight is still gonna be rough.
Ult farming.
You really need to do this? Questionable ult. I think just with your normal fire, I think you could have done just enough damage. Getting a couple kills. You're already up a couple kills.
Go back. We don't have any shield. Go back.
Yeah.
I'm keeping Mercy and Far occupied. Yeah, she's all ulted.
What do you do?
Where do I go? I guess I got solo ulted. That's good.
So,
That's good because
Again-
one person with their shadow instead of like our entire team. You see, the rest of our team is still alive and might be able to clutch something out. Unlikely, but it's a thing. It's a possibility.
I really think, and this is the thing about one-tricking Bastion, I almost need to, like... I almost need the one-trick Bastion to really, like, get in the mentality.
Nice grab.
He got the shadow! There we go. See, this is what I mean. They wasted.
But essentially, you want to be set up, you want to be mobile
stalled out long enough to clutch.
Like, it's good to be Bastion form if they're poking,
Awesome.
or Sentry form.
That's why it's good when
So,
people,
you almost want to be Sentry for the first second they call around the corner like this.
why it was good.
Do some damage, get out. Yep.
That's the great thing.
So this is kind of what I'm thinking. And then right now you need to reposition. You need to reposition, and then based on all of their movements, figure out where you can be to basically be in an advantage position against their next move. So you have to be 2 steps ahead of them.
Oh, she fucked up. Pharaoh's
But again, that's in theory.
for them.
I get the thought of just sitting there.
They're gonna ult, they're gonna ult. They're gonna
Okay, they burn ults. I'm just. What did I just kill? The Maul. Yeah, I'm just gonna chill up here. Cannot shadow me.
It sucks that the line of sight from the
Space in this fucking rain.
bonus damage isn't hitting you. Good, good, good.
The Maul. What's this Pharaoh doing?
Missing.
Oh my
Okay.
god, this round. I'm gonna reload while I'm not seeing him.
Okay, yep, give it a
That was
position.
really good that I went up here. That was really good.
Bastion did get the fall off buff in PTR, did he?
I totally forgot about that. Oh.
I just had my ulti, are you serious?
Okay, well then no, that's good to know.
I just had my ulti.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, overall, like I think it's just being in the right spot before.
If I get it, if I got it.
And it sucks because here's the kicker, guys. I don't know if anyone knew this, but Bastion doesn't have mobility. So essentially, you see Bastion moving around more, and most teams will say, "Oh, Bastion there, we're approaching here, and Bastion moves around, they have to be more careful." Yeah, that's the whole
None
idea.
of my teammates can deal with the squishies. But I'm really good at dealing with the tanks, so I should do that. Especially with Brigitte.
Is you need to stick and move. As soon as the enemy has your location, it's almost like considered a sentry gun, right? You're in one location, they're going to plan around it. They're going to use their position. They're going to use positioning to nullify you. Also, mind your recoil.
Nice, that was a good hold.
Come here.
Oh, I didn't get here.
So that's one of those times.
Now we don't have anything to do with Farah. She's gonna wreck us.
Got it, come on.
If I would have gone here, I could have kept Ryan and that Farah. Then we would
Like when you have that much of a lead.
The thing is, I would
So I've talked about corners before.
be inside.
Corners work like this. Here's a corner. Most DPSers, they want to go around the outside. And why do they want to do that? So they can start cutting off this angle in a slow, methodical process. They cut it off here. As they move forward, it cuts off here. All right, as you move forward, once you go past the 90 degree, bam. Which means if you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, when you're over here, only the 1 can shoot you. Over here, only the second person can shoot you, and the 1. And then here's the 3, and then here's the 4th. So what he did on this corner is that the corner was like, the corner was like this. Here's the point. He jumped over the corner and then set up sentry gun, which he had no idea what the fuck was around that corner. Right? There could have been 6 people. I know 3 people were dead. But with this, he's committing to everything over here, shooting him at once, and he's a stationary target, so he's going to get shot very easily. It's way too overcommittal. You could have just peeked around and then shot with your gun, and the Bastion's primary fire isn't terrible. As long as you mind the recoil, it's not terrible. So it's just overcommittal. You jumped around the corner, all targets shot you, you died. Now, why did that happen? It's a fucking corner. You jumped around it. You're going to be subjected to everyone around that corner right away. So just walk around it, peek, see what's going on. In all honesty, if you knew you had the ground war won, you killed 2 or 3 people before your team even went around that corner, but you knew the Pharaoh was above you. Step back, put the Pharaoh down, and they have no way to contest it. Instead of worrying about killing everyone, think about stripping away tools for them to defend themselves with. That's what I do in martial arts. There's a lot of techniques that just remove tools. And it just stops them from being able to retaliate with a tool, and from there, they die.
Wait, my internet just crashed.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, I hope he didn't send me a DC video.
Tanks. Shadow. There it is!
So that was one of the smartest moves I've seen him do.
Mercy, go away.
Go get out this body, please.
You know what, I don't like this.
Did he shoot her? The $1 million shot? He didn't shoot her. So, trying to be a little bit fancy there, and this is perfect. Just hold down the fucking button.
Nice fight. Okay, Bastion, go on payload.
Almost got him. Did I have enough shadow? Probably.
See, I like this. Now okay, he's far enough away where he's going to take fall-off damage or people can't hit him. Notice he's getting targeted. He changes form. Alright, this is what I like. Like, this is, I think, how you're supposed to play Bastion. Also, your team's not out in front of you, so just get back.
What's happening?
That's a lot of damage. So I didn't like the ultimate when you used it. You're just like, I'm gonna ult out of this small choke point. I hope they're all around the corner again. And you hold down your attack button way too much, I think.
I want to get her bubble out as...
Okay, it worked that time.
She didn't even bubble! I have to kill it down.
Also, he's being very sensational.
She didn't even think that I could kill her that fast. That she didn't even... This is why I'm not on payload. This right there. She blindly wasted her ult into the back of the payload. They get armor, so I'm gonna go back.
Okay, not terrible.
Okay, I'm just gonna die here.
Okay, yep. He accepted his death, and he just died.
That was awesome. That was so awesome. I wanted to get to bait her bubble out,
So I was gonna say, like, as he got that kill, Bastion does have a bit of bloom, and I believe he gets it. I'm not exactly 100% sure on this, but I'm pretty sure he gets it faster than Soldier. So just mind your shots. Like, you probably don't want to just hold down the fire like that. You probably want to shoot 4 times, stop for like a half second, and start shooting again. And what was that, Zarya? The Zarya probably just either doubles on cooldown, or she just didn't think he was going to hit that many shots.
I really want to 1v1 her. The Reinhardt has shadow, I don't want to deal with that. Yeah, it's a good idea to go high ground. Or go here, I don't know. Do anything. Wait a second, I can go here and ult. But Pharah has ult, so I don't know. Oh. Just literally around the corner.
That's an ult right around the corner.
Crap.
This is a... Okay. I was gonna say, that's a terrible res, but you actually got a kill out of it.
Why not coming in? Right side.
Oh, so close.
Okay, right there. That was probably the best move he did the entire game. I think most everyone at this point in time would have sat there and died to kill this Bridget. But I don't think he was going to get the kill. She puts a shield up, and he's already at 180 health.
Oh, sniped! Oh, I got stunned. Don't charge me, don't charge me. This is bad, this is bad. Crap, I should have prioritized staying alive, because now I could have helped with my team. Ah,
Yep.
this is unfortunate.
I mean, he makes a good self-reflection. He says he should have prioritized staying alive. In which case, I would say that is actually always the answer.
Tanks have so much living power.
9 times out of 10, it's better to be alive than dead.
Farah just does a lot of damage.
Usually,
With the damage boost.
self-sacrificing yourself to get 1 or 2 kills is not worth it. Specifically with Mercy being so popular. And this right there is what I'm talking about, holding on the trigger too long. Like, your accuracy is just going to go to hell. And at that range with the fall-off, I wouldn't even worry about shooting the flying targets.
I knew she would do it. I'm really gonna kill her. Oh, I got soloed again.
So he keeps getting shattered, and the reason is he's an easy target, and he's also a significant part of their DPS. Right? It's almost the same way I would look at Junkrat's tire, where if you get shot, or if you take out one person during a team fight, it's worth it. If you make it a 5v6 and just win that, it's usually pretty damn worth it. So we did talk a lot about, I think your accuracy is alright, but watch the bloom. So watch the bloom. Watch holding on the button way too long. Your accuracy is going to go down a lot. Especially at the flying target. Like, man, it's one thing when a Reinhardt's like within 15 meters of you. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Bastion's fall off. It's 10 meters sooner than soldiers. It's 15 to 25 meters. No, it's 20 meters shorter. I think Bastion starts at 15 and goes to 25. Soldiers 35 to 45. I believe. I'd have to run the numbers on that though. But watch your bloom. Just watch it. You get fall off pretty quick, and I guess apparently it's going to be fixed in the patch, maybe. But we'll have to see the PTR patch and what comes from that. Of course, with your sentry mode, of course, like you just automatically get bloom. Nothing to worry about there. Your positioning, you need to be 2 steps ahead of everyone. So, it looked like, and this is just theory, we'll have to test it out, is one sentry for poke phase. So, as the enemy is poking around the corner, they're going to get information. And then, as they move through logistics, you need to move as well. And you need to move in front of their next move. This is the whole... This is all what it comes down to. So if the enemy's pushing in, as they're poking, they're just going around the corner, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You want to be in sentry mode just so you can really contest their poking. Especially if they use a shield, just almost kill it instantly. But as they commit to something, like left or right side, that's when you need to go, oh, I need to rotate this way, or oh, I need to rotate this way, so that their next move, you're already behind their next move. Or you're in front of it, whatever you want to call it. Timing, you're in front of it, but positioning-wise, maybe you're behind them. You need to just be ahead of the enemy team. And there is a point, and I get it, when you have to hunker down, you have to use the shields, and you have to use your power and all the healing, and just try to heal through an attack. And it's just going to come down to like brute force. It happens, and If it works, it works. I got nothing against it. Just don't do it. Don't do that all the time. That's the problem. Is people do it too much. They just believe Bastion's like, oh, I'm sitting here. Either I'm going to die or they die. There's more to that. It's more about sticking and moving. It's all about positioning and being a little bit ahead of them. Logistics. This is kind of covered in positioning, so you just got to be there beforehand. Information-wise, we talked about corners. And what it comes down to is a balance. Oh, that should be a C, but that was not a C. A balance for competing demands. So what that means is, all right, I need to survive, or like, I need to kill the Pharah, but I also need to kill this Reinhardt shield. Now the Reinhardt shield is like, let's just say a 60% chance to win, and the Pharah has a 40% chance to win in the current situation. Obviously people would be like, oh, let's go for the Reinhardt. But this can change on a dime, and you have to pick one. With Bastion, this is usually the case between, like, do I stick in recon mode or do I stay in sentry mode? Stuff like that. You have to weigh your balances, try to find what you think is going to give you the highest probability, and then stick with it. The worst thing you can do is waver and do one thing and then try to do the other and just lose both. This is the crux of Bastion. Because of his immobility, he has to really, like, stick to this and really balance everything out. Bros, if you're ready, well, good night, man. Yeah, I think those are the big things. If I had you work on one thing, it's this. This is my, in theory, how to play Bastion, but I would actually have to play Bastion to really, like, tell you this for sure. Because usually people just, Bastion's place in the meta is put him on a payload or put him, like, at the end of a point, kind of a surprise type tactic and get someone killed, stuff like that. There's usually not a lot of theory or tactics around him. It's just more like use him as a battering ram. I think we're good there. We can do another one.